So in this video, we're going to be discussing the creation of polylines. Now, polylines are essentially going to be the foundation of any of our models because they're sort of the lines that create the shapes that the surfaces will stretch around in Rhino to actually create our figures and forms. So to begin with, we're going to take a look at the tool that will essentially be like the ruler for us. Like if we were drawing, this would be a ruler. And when we're in Rhino, we have something called, down here, the OSNAP. OSNAPs in Rhino, right here, are guides that are going to make drawing easier. So as you can see here, I've got it selected. Now, your OSNAPs are all these features along here. So end, near, point, mid, all of these things are our different OSNAPs, and they all do different things. So that's what we're going to go through really quickly before we begin drawing anything. So currently I have no OSNAP selected. So say if I want to select anything near this line here in the top view, I can't, right? Or if I do, it's going to be, just clicking randomly near someplace. Like I can't find a definite point. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try turning on our end OSNAP, and we're going to see what happens. So suddenly, if I want to draw a line that's going to attach to this endpoint here, look at that. It snaps to it perfectly. It knows exactly what to grab onto. It grabs right onto the end. That's what the end OSNAP does, because our polylines need to be nice closed lines. So the end snap is good. Now let's say we want to have a line that this lands near the line we selected. That's where the near OSNAP. So essentially I'm coming close to it, and then it just snaps right to it. It knows that I want to create a line that is coming off of the original one, so it knows to snap me right to it there. That's the near line. So then if I click and start creating a polyline, look at that. It knows which polyline to jump. It knows to start from that polyline. Now the mid OSNAP is going to be particularly useful for anything that's going to relate to having geometry or symmetry to it. So let's watch what happens when we select the mid OSNAP. I've got a polyline selected, and look at that. It picks the midpoint. So this is great because now, if I want to draw something that's completely symmetrical, I know I'm drawing exactly from the midpoint. Oops. Of this existing line here. Now the center OSNAP here is useful for any time we're dealing with something relating to a radius, where we need to find, say, the middle of a circle, like the one that's shown here up on the top view. So once I've got that center OSNAP selected, and I move towards, you see, it knows automatically that I'm trying to draw a line from somewhere from the midpoint of the circle. So I come near. See, it draws a line to where it thinks I want it to start, and then I click, and look at that. There it is. I can draw another one just for practice. I bring it around. Perfect. So then all I do is click, and I've got a perfect line right to the middle of this circle. Now, when you're drawing in Rhino, and you're drawing in plan view or top view like this, there's going to be a lot of times you're going to need to draw from an intersection. So this is where the intersection OSNAP is going to be really useful to have on as well. So as you can see here, if I want to start a polyline, and there's this intersection here, and I want something that comes perfectly to where that intersection is happening, all I do is I come near it, and immediately it knows exactly where it is. It knows I'm trying to draw a line from that intersection. I click, enter. As you can see, that goes right to the intersection. So as you can probably tell, all of these OSNAPs are really just about serving as little guides for us, just things to help us along so that it's geometrically all going to add up to nice, crisp, closed polylines. Now let's say I want to create a line that it is at a perfect perpendicular right angle with an existing line that's there already. So I'm going to select the polyline, and you're going to notice that now I have the perpendicular OSNAP selected. So essentially all what this is going to do is I can click anywhere out here, provided it's somewhat perpendicular with the existing line. I'm going to first click, and you're going to see then it just snaps to create a perfect perpendicular line with what's already there. So it knows I'm trying to draw a perpendicular line, and it just snaps me right to it. So click, enter, and there you have it. Now let's say I want to create a line that comes to a tangent with an existing, circular polyline. So what I'm going to do is I have the tangent OSNAP selected here. I can click anywhere around here, anywhere around this circle. I'm going to click, and as you can see, look at that. It automatically snaps me to whatever sort of serves as the nearest tangent point to it on the line. Now let's say we want to identify essentially what the quadrants of a radius like this circle here might be. This is where the quadrant OSNAP is going to be really useful. So once I've got that selected, I'm going to find my polyline over here. I will click. And then as I trace around it, look at that. There's sort of the first point of the quadrant there. And if I trace around there, it's going to just snap right to quadrant, quadrant, quadrant. So it knows that I'm trying to sort of figure out what the 4 quadrants of this circle are, and that's what that OSNAP. I also personally like to always keep the knot and vertex OSNAPs on. So essentially, all these are going to do is they're just going to serve as little guides and things to help us along and create really complete polylines.